Hello and welcome back to Numismatics with Kenny. Here is a video of me unboxing some silver that I recently purchased. I've already opened up the package so it was easier for filming. Four quarter rolls. And I purchased this from APMEX. So let's open up the first roll. The rolls get in the way. Okay. So these are Washington quarters. The first one's from 1937, 1950s. A 1964D, a 1941, a 62D, a 1940. Here's a 1960D. Here's a 64D, a 62D, 44. Here's a 1941, but it has red all over it. Don't know where that's from. Here's a 1964D. There's a 1964, which is in pretty nice condition for finding these in junk silver. That one aside. 1964D, 1944D, this is another 64. Here's a 1957, pretty nice condition for junk silver, of course. Here's a 1964. Here's a real nice 1964. I like the toning. Here's a 1942. 1963D. 1939. 1943 and a 51, 42 and a 64, 64 and a 42. But here's the 1942. So we have a 63, a 45, a 42, 64, another 64, 61D. '64, 64D, 64, 64D, 58D, 64D, 64, 64, 43, and 60D. But here's the 1943. And here's another nice 1964D. But it's a shame it has a huge rim ding. Okay, so we got the first roll done. The next roll is again more Washington quarters. The Washington quarter was actually has been minted since 1932, and it was commissioned for the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birthday. So here's a 1950, a 1964, 61, 64, 64, and here's a 59. And what I think is interesting is that this coin was actually supposed to be minted just for 1 year in 1932 as a commemorative, but they decided to make it a whole coin series, and as you know, it's still around today. Here's a 1942, a 1943S, '64, 36D, 64, 59D, 42, 42, 64D, so 51, 52, 52D, a 64, yeah, 1934. And for every Washington quarter from 1956 to 1964, I'm checking on the reverse to see if it's a Type B reverse or not. Here's a 1950S, 1954, 1959D, 1937D, 41, so 54. The 61. This quarter has a strange mark on the eagle. I do believe that it's most likely a hit. But in the comment section, tell me what you think it is. See how on the eagle, I think it's just a hit. But it could be some sort of strike-through error or something like that. So in the comment section, please tell me what you think. Here's a 1953D, 1940, a 1954, a 37, a 1950S, a 1964D. '63D, 64, 64D, 64, 1950S, 64D, and here's just a 44. Okay, third roll. Here's a 1963D. Here's a 1963. Looks pretty neat. So 41D, 48D, 55. For some reason, you don't see too many 1955 Washington quarters, although it wasn't a low mintage or anything. Here's a 1944, a 1935D. a 64D, a 62D, another 62D, a 52, 62, and a 61D, 62P, 61D, here's a 1938S. This one's pretty nice. Alright, I'll put that one aside. Here's a 1943, 64D, 64, okay, 64. Just, for a second I thought that was a type B reverse, but it's type A. Here's a 1943, a 1964, 1959D, this is 64, another 64, 64, here's a 54. Here's a nice 63. '64, 53S, 64, 54, 52D. Here's a 64 with some nice toning. The toning might be a little hard to see on the camera, but it's nice in hand. There's a 43, a 37D, 64, 64D, 64, 62, and 64. so many 1960s dated coins. On to the fourth and final roll. First we have a 64, 1960D, this is 1941, '43, 62D, of 1944, a 1964, a nice 1963, '64, 64, so 46, so 38, 64, 1954D, 1959, the 1958D, so 1945, 52, 62D, 64D, 51D, 1960D, 64D, here's a 64, '63, 59D, 39, 62, 57. Here's a 1932, the first year of vintage. I always loved finding 1932 Washington quarters. I don't know why. I just like it a lot. So 57D, 62D, 62D, 64D, 4D. 1963, P. 1945, 43, 52, 44, and the last coin that I will talk about in this video, a 1945. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel and share my videos on any social media outlet you belong to. Thank you. Goodbye.